everyone, and welcome back to Learn at Home with Mrs. Jones. Today we are going to add some details to our personal narratives. So if you've been following along with me, you'll know that we brainstormed a personal narrative to write about. We sketched it out in 3 different parts. Then we took those illustrations, stretched them across the pages, and added some beautiful coloring to it. Then yesterday we actually went ahead and we read our stories out loud by looking at the illustration, saying what's happening, and then writing down exactly what we said. So today we are going to add a little bit more details into our personal narratives. Let's take a look at what we have so far. I showed you this yesterday, but here is the illustration we had. We have our characters feeling and moving. We have a setting in the background. And what I wrote was, last Theo and Calvin found a fallen tree and used it like a balance beam. And if you remember, I tried my best when writing the word balance because that was really tricky. So I stretched it out, I sounded it out, and I wrote down every sound that I hear in that word. So today I want to add some more details to this writing. How can I go ahead and do that? We are going to practice 2 different ways to add details into our stories. The first is I want to know where my characters, what were they thinking and what were they saying? So I know that when I went on this walk in the woods, during this scene, because this is my last page, during this scene when they were walking on the balance beam on the log, I know that Theo was saying, whoa, whoa, because he was balancing. So I'm actually going to draw a speech bubble up here. Now I'm going to use my marker because I did already draw the setting. So if your parents have a marker that you can use, you can go ahead and draw over the setting and write down your speech bubble. Here I'm gonna write, whoa. Now I could also go ahead and draw some thought bubbles up there. Maybe he was thinking whoa, but I don't actually know what he was thinking because I'm not that character. That's my son Theo. I don't know what he was thinking. So let me think, what was I thinking? I was thinking that I wanted them to slowly do it because I didn't want them to trip or fall. So I could add, since I'm not in this illustration, I could add another sentence to my story. I could say, let me reread what I have first. Last Theo and Calvin found a fallen tree and used it like a balance beam. So what was I thinking? I was thinking I want them to go slowly. So I can say, I was thinking go slowly as they walked. So there I added another sentence, another detail to the story that you now know about. So now I have, last Theo and Calvin found a fallen tree and used it like a balance beam. I was thinking go slowly as they walked. And I also added a little speech bubble up here with my son Theo saying, whoa, because he was trying to balance on the beam. Okay, so on this page, we went ahead and added some thoughts and some words. Let's try adding some details on a different page using another strategy. Let's see. Here is that first page I wrote. I don't think I showed you it all colored in, but here it is. It's the picture of our family getting our stuff on. So it said, first we went to the closet and put on our jackets, hats, and mittens because it was cold. So let me put that up here. Now I could, if I wanted to, go ahead and try to think about what was I thinking, what was I saying. I know I was thinking it was really cold outside, so we needed our big puffy coats. I could add that here if I wanted, but let me try a different strategy. Let's try the strategy of using our senses to add more details. So when I'm thinking about our senses, I'm thinking about what I see, what I smell, what I taste, what I feel, and what I can hear. So let me take a walk back. Let me think about my senses during this time. First we went to the closet and put on our jackets, hats, and mittens because it was cold. What was I seeing during that time? I was looking at our different jackets, and I knew that instead of our thin jackets, we needed our puffy ones. That was one thing I saw. Let me see, what could I smell at that time? There wasn't really anything I was smelling that has to do with the story. What was I touching at that time? I was trying to get their coats on. So I could add a detail about me helping my boys put their puffy coats on. What else? I did see, smell, touch, taste. I wasn't really eating anything at that time, so I didn't do that. Oh, listen. What did I hear at that time? I remember that I could really hear the wind howling outside the window. That could be a cool detail to add because I already said it was cold, and this will help the reader know that it was also really windy that day. Let me go ahead and add that in. First, we went to the closet and put on our jackets, hats, and mittens because it was cold. I could hear the wind outside my windows. So there I went ahead and I added another detail about this day. And what's cool about that detail is actually when I think about the last page, and remember how I added Theo saying, whoa, and I was thinking that I didn't want them to fall off, I wanted them to go slowly. That's because it was so windy. So it was cold and windy and they were trying to balance on that log. So your job today is to go ahead and look at all 3 pages of your writing. You can go ahead and add speech bubbles, you can add thought bubbles, you can also write down what you were thinking or what you were saying in your actual story. Now let me tell you, guess what? I don't have any more lines to write on here, but all I need to do is grab another piece of paper if I wanted to keep writing, or if your paper has lines on the back, mine doesn't. But if it has lines on the back, or you can grab another piece and just keep writing to make your story even longer. So, speech bubbles, thought bubbles, or you can walk through. Another way to add details is you can think about your 5 senses. Think about what you were seeing, what you were smelling, what you were tasting, what you were hearing, and what you were touching. And you can add that to your story as well. Great job, everybody. We are adding a ton to our own personal narratives, and I'm excited to see what these are looking like with you guys. So tomorrow is our last day, and we are going to actually edit our personal narrative a little bit, and we are going to go ahead and publish it and read it to someone. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye.